Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. In this video we're going to talk about US stock market. What are the basics of US stock market, why we should invest in US stock market, and what are the taxes you need to pay and how you can invest in US stock market. So this is a complete detailed video about US stock market, so watch the video till the end. So let's first move on and talk about benefits of investing in US stock market, which will make more sense in the later part of the video. So first of all, US stock market is the world's biggest stock market. Along with that, US stock market is really stable stock market than many of the stock market in the world. US stock market give us the facility of investing not in their stock market, not in their economy, but economies all over the world. Like look at their companies, Alphabet, Apple, Facebook, Amazon. These are all the big global names which are not just getting the benefits from their own economy, but they are also have the user base all over the world. And this makes the US stock market a bit more special, that you are getting the exposure of all around the world, different economies. Like there are many of the Chinese companies even which are listed in US stock market. So if you invest in that, you are indirectly investing in the Chinese economy. In the same way, if there are some Japan companies, there are some other companies, and there are some global companies also in US stock market. So this is a really great benefit, that you are able to diversify into different you're able to invest in different economies. So this is one of the benefit of investing in US stock market. The next benefit of investing in US stock market is a rupee depreciating amount. So basically rupee has been depreciating continuously. I gone through one of the data according to which from 2010 to 2021 the rupee value has depreciated by 44%. So this shows that rupee value has depreciated over the years, and it's going to be depreciating because obviously US is a growing economy, it's big economy, and it will take time for at least Indian economy to overtake that economy. It will take many years. So definitely the rupee price will obviously rupee will get more and more weak in comparison to the US dollar. So this shows that we get that benefit. How we get that benefit? Now let's suppose with a stock of Apple, the cost of Apple stock was around $50. Now if at that time $1 was equal to 50 rupees, so I purchased the stock of Apple at $50. Now I have to pay 2,500 rupees for purchasing an Apple stock. Now I purchased it and for a longer term, and today the Apple per share cost is almost $125. Now I get $75 benefit. Along with that, today the exchange rate is $1 is equal to 72. So I invested the money at the exchange rate of 2010, and now I am going to withdraw the money from at the exchange rate of today. So I have got the 22 rupees per dollar benefit. Along with that, the value of the stock also increased. Along with that, it gives you good amount of stability as well, because it's world's biggest stock market, and over the past it has been seen US economy and US stock market has been more stable than many of the stock market in the world. Also, the returns of the US stock market is high. There was a report that Dow Jones Industrial Index in the past 10 years has grown by almost 200% in comparison to the Sensex, which has grown by almost 150% in the past 10 years. These were some of the benefits of investing in US stock market. Now let's move to the next part of the video, in which we will discuss about the basics of US stock market. So let's talk about basics of US stock market. So in India we have BSE, NSE. In US stock market we have NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, and Nasdaq. Nasdaq was created by NASD, which is National Authority of Stock Dealers, and they created the Nasdaq. Well, the main reason of creating the Nasdaq was to make the system a bit more computerized, a bit more simplified, because during that time people used to go on a trading floor and they used to buy and sell the stocks. Like many of the people might have seen the Harshad Mehta scam, in which it was clearly visible. People used to go and there used to be a lot of chahos, and the purchasing and selling of share were not that easy. But then they created this particular thing called Nasdaq, in which they made the things bit more computerized, bit more electronic, bit more easy and simplified. It was created in 1971. Now let's talk about the market capitalization. Indian stock market capitalization is almost $3 trillion. If we compare it to the US stock market capitalization, it is almost $50 trillion. So obviously economy of the US is big, but we obviously have scope of improvement. Over the years we have a young population, things might go a bit more things might improve more in our country. GDP is growing great, and I personally think India has a good prospect as well. Now let's talk about another thing, which is timing. In India, like we have 9:15 to 3:30. In USA, in their time zone, the time is from 9:30 to 4, but in Indian time zone, it is from 7 to 1:30. Now let's talk about indexes. Now in India, we have two major indexes, which is Sensex and Nifty. Sensex is for Bombay Stock Exchange and Nifty is for NSE, which is National Stock Exchange. In USA, the three major indexes are Dow Jones Industrial Index, Nasdaq, and S&P 500. We will talk about these separately in the later part of the video. Like in India, we have SEBI, which regulate the stock market in India. There in USA, there is SEC, which is Security Exchange Commission, which regulate the money market in USA. Now let's talk about some of the features of NYSE and Nasdaq. NYSE comprises of almost 2,500 companies, and all these companies are industrial and the blue chip companies. For a matter of fact, there are almost 70 of the world's biggest companies are also listed on NYSE. Along with that, its valuation is $25 trillion, which is really big. It's a crazy amount. This was all about NYSE. Now let's talk about Nasdaq. Nasdaq has almost 3,200 companies listed on it with around 20 trillion valuation. It is the world's biggest electronically traded exchange. Nasdaq contains majority of the companies which are tech giants, which are tech companies. Many of the companies listed on Nasdaq are tech companies. Now, the one thing you need to understand, like in NSE and BSE, we have almost same companies, and just shares distribution has taken place. But in NYSE and Nasdaq, the things are not like that. Like in both the exchanges, the companies are different. Like in NYSE, the companies like Berkshire Hathaway, Visa, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Walmart Industries, these kind of companies are listed, which are industrial companies. Bank of America, basically banks, industrial companies, blue chip companies are listed on NYSE. On Nasdaq, the majority of the companies are tech companies like Tesla, PayPal, Amazon, Alphabet, many of the Dell, HP, Facebook. These are the big companies which are listed on tech companies are listed on Nasdaq. So now let's talk about index. So before talking about index, I want to clear one concept, which is price weighted index versus market weighted index. Like price weighted index is the index which give more importance to the per share price. So basically, if in India, if the Indian stock market is a whole about market cap, market weighted, Sensex is market weighted index. But if it would have been a price weighted index, the first share on the top share would have been MRF, because MRF cost of per share is way more. It's the most expensive share. So basically, a price weighted index give more priority to the more expensive share, and market weighted index give more priority to the capital, gives priority to capitalization. So this is the basic difference. So now let's talk about Dow Jones Industrial Index. Dow Jones Industrial Index is a price weighted index, so it give more priority to the expensive companies. So Dow Jones Industrial Index contains 30 companies from both NYSE and Nasdaq, and these are price weighted companies. So now let's talk about Nasdaq. Nasdaq comprises of 2,500 companies which may or may not be headquartered in USA, and it is market capitalized weighted index. So basically, it gives priority to the market capitalization of a share, and they need to rank it in that way. Now third type of index is S&P 500. S&P 500 basically rank 500 stock which are based in USA only. So basically, it gives priority to only USA companies which are headquartered in USA. The companies which are not headquartered in USA are not a part of S&P 500. So we discussed about the basics of US stock market. We discussed about what are the benefits of investing in US stock market. Now let's move on to the next part, which is how we can invest in US stock market. Now there are majority of the two apps. There are two apps in India which are used for investing in US stock market. That is Vested, and another app is IndMoney. Now you can use any of the application. Now these are two of the application. These applications have basically collaboration with the broker outside India, which is in USA, and with that broker they open our account. So basically they open our account with the broker of USA. Now it's totally safe because they are backed by lots of good agencies, and they are verified. They have good amount of license. So I'm not going to discuss their license. So they are quite verified, and you can definitely trust both of this company and the broker in USA as well. Now this was the thing. You can invest with these applications. It's quite simple and easy process. You just need to register your PAN card, your Aadhaar card and all this stuff. You just need to do some KYC and all this stuff, and you can definitely invest. Now let's talk about taxation. Before talking about taxation, when you transfer the money, you have to pay 1,000 rupees charges to the bank. So I would advise you to transfer the bulk of money. For example, if you want to invest 50,000 in a whole year, you should transfer 50,000 directly first into the app, because if you do not do that, every time you transfer you need to pay around 1,000 rupees as a fee. So this is also something you need to keep in mind. So basically you should transfer the whole money into the in money, and then you can invest accordingly every month. So you can do these things, and if you are not able to, so I would advise you not to go for, because it will charge you a lot. In a longer term, it might not give you that much amount of benefit, the amount of charges you will pay, because it is totally advisable to basically transfer in a bulk. If you do not transfer in the bulk, it is not beneficial for you. So now let's talk about taxes. In USA, if you sell the stock before 24 months, you need to pay short-term capital gain tax. So if you sell the stock before 24 months, you need to pay short-term capital gain tax. Now you need to pay long-term capital gain tax after 24 months. That is also the thing as well. Along with that, you have to pay 35%, almost $20 to $30 of withdrawal fees whenever you withdraw the money as well. So obviously there are some taxes you need to pay, like short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain. But the thing is, if you pay the tax in USA, you do not need to pay the tax again in India, because there is an agreement between India and USA which is called double taxation avoidance agreement, in which if you pay it in USA, you do not need to pay the tax again in India as well. Along with that, there is a taxes on dividend as well. So for example, if a company is giving the dividend, the tax will be cut at the source only. Basically, for example, the dividend per share is $100, then and the taxation is 25%. So they will cut the $25 and they will give the $75 only to you. So tax on dividend is cut at source only. So this was all about taxes. There are some taxes definitely, like a long-term capital gain tax, short-term capital gain tax. Along with that, you need to pay the withdrawal fees. Also you need to, when you depositing the money, there are some 1,000-2,000 rupees are also cut as well. So these are some things which are there in US stock market, which makes it a bit of expensive, but in the long term it's really great, because thing is it gives a high amount of returns and it's a stable market. So I'll highly recommend, if you are someone who have a good amount of funds and you have the money, you should definitely go and invest in US stock market. It will definitely give you a good amount of returns. It will give you global exposure to different economies. It will give different exposure to different stocks as well, and it will definitely give you a portfolio a good amount of returns and a good amount of stability as well. So I would highly recommend to go for US stock market if you can. I have given the link of both the IndMoney and Vested app. You can check out that app and go and invest in US stock market. This was all from this video. If you like it, subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Thank you.